from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad.
And we're back. Welcome to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. We took a month off because I had shit I had to do, and y'all motherfuckers can wait. But we're back, and over there, floating through the Indiana Ocean right now is Brad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Crawl Space. I am excited as all get out that we are back. Missed you, Jack, and looking forward to continuing our fine tradition of fuckery.
Oh, wait, we are pretty good at the fuckery, that's for sure. But
I'll tell you what.
This evening, we're going to do the Perverted episode, because I know everybody out there has had some weird motherfuckers hitting on you and finding weird shit in people's houses and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But let's get the obligatory pimping out of the way. We're at Crawl Space Tales on Twitter, at TFTC Podcast on Instagram, TFTC 2.0 on TikTok, and where you'll always find us is at the awesome Pest Control Humor Depot, of which our own Brad is the overlord, most definitely. And we're also at TFTC.WTF, which, as you know, stands for what the fuck.
And that's a good place because you will find every episode there ever was of Tales from the Crawl Space right there on TFTC.WTF.
Yep, and some of the things I'm going to mention tonight, I mentioned in passing on some very early episodes. So if you haven't checked out our backlog, go back to the very beginning when we had no idea what the fuck we're doing. Not that we do now, but just the same.
No,
we had no idea what the fuck we were doing, and this was pre-Brad, so you can hear how we kind of barely got along without Mr. Brad Harvey. So you'll get to hear us on the show from way back when. So yeah, check out our older episodes and you'll hear some good shit, like when I found a dead body in an apartment. That's always a good one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The Pest Control Humor Depot, PCHD, once again did not disappoint in giving us some great, nasty, perverted stories. And so again, I appreciate you guys out there doing that and getting us the content that we so desperately need. Hats off to you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Is it and is the train going to be coming here soon, Jack?
It's actually coming by right now, but he didn't hit the horn. So, speaking of running trains, I'm sure somebody's walked in on a couple bedrooms with that kind of shit happening.
Oh, I have a good one that one of my technicians when I worked at the Big Green Tea shared with me. He's out doing he's out doing a service, and the door was open, and she was a regular customer, and usually it's just like, if my door's open, come on in, get her done. I'm probably around there somewhere doing something. Well, he's downstairs doing his thing in the kitchen and the bathroom down there. He starts heading upstairs to inspect the interior or the upstairs bathroom. And what does he hear but the sounds of strangled, anguished lovemaking going on in a room at the end of the hallway? Yeah, he slowly approaches the room because, he's a pervert himself and is curious as to what's going on in this room. He looks in the crack of the door, and they're going at it. Doggy styles the on the menu, and ladies facing the door, the dude's facing the door. All of a sudden, he catches a glimpse of the technician and motions him in. So he motions in. He drops, and the guy's like, "Go ahead." Drops trowel, and there's a spit roast situation going on right after that. I was his service manager at the time, and I stared what the fuckingly at him while he was telling me this story. And I was a greenhorn at the time. I really didn't know what to do. So, he actually kept his job. What can I say?
Well, you should have at least paid the guy for doing termite work, because it sounds like he was doing some long run.
Mm-hmm. This was back when smartphone technology was in its infancy, so there was really no video record of this dalliance, and now it would have been on fucking TikTok or something, or OnlyFans, or I don't know. YouTube, whatever.
There's totally a fetish for that. I mean, he was giving her a crack and crevice treatment. That's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a Dear Penthouse moment. And for those of you that are under the age of 40, Penthouse was a magazine at one time, and they had great stories in it.
Yeah, that's because we all know that Brad Harvey was reading Penthouse for the stories.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of my technicians, again from the Big Green Tea, who's no longer with us, left me his porn collection as a remembrance once he passed on, and I still have them up in my attic. They're in an old wooden ammo case, and at least the ones my kid didn't get a hold of once he found them.
Oh, I had that. The service manager for one of the companies, the sales manager for one of the companies I worked for, was getting married and moving in with his lady. And when he did, he had to dispose of what he called the BOP, box of porn, B-O-P.
The BOP.
So he brings me the BOP and dumps it on my desk in my office at work. So I got porn DVDs like anal nurses spilling off of my desk in my office. And the branch manager walks in. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And he's like, oh man, I've seen this one. I'm like, well, shit, you can fucking have it. Oh, I can't take them home to the wife. So I held on to the BOP for a while. I don't own a DVD player, but I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with these? I just sat in the back of my closet for a while until I decided to throw them in the dumpster. I'm sure some dumpster divers, treat themselves like an amusement park now. So.
Well, if we were actually doing this on YouTube, I'd ask the question: Are porn magazine collections still a thing? Let us know by dropping your comments below. But we're not. So message me or whatever. Let me know. Are these actually still a thing, or are they just now relegated to the upper class, high end collectors? Kind of interested to know. I mean, we've got all this technology now where you have a few second snippets, which is basically all a lot of us guys need. But who knows? I don't know if that stuff that where the women don't move and the men are hard forever. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you, I was as I was killing some time down in North Kakalaki when I was down there for the past week. I went through a couple thrift stores and stuff, looking around, a couple of antique stores, because I collect, and if anybody out there has any of this, let me know, and I'll make an offer for something. I collect beer lights, and I collect the glass insulators that old telephone electric lines used to go on the poles.
Oh, we got a ton of those here in Indiana. I could just drive up. Hang on, poor time. There we go. Yeah. I can hang. This episode of Tales from the Crawl Space is brought to you by Maker's Mark Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Ooh. Very nice.
All right. That's my go-to. Anyway, I go up there. There's a Pendleton Pike. There's a railroad track that goes across, and it's still got the old school poles and insulators and stuff. And every now and again, one of those will fall, and it's Insulator City.
Oh, grab me a couple if you happen to see them, would you?
I'll make a point of it, Jack.
And if anybody else out there got a line on either that or beer lights, let me know.
Okay, when you say beer lights, do you mean like the kind, are you talking like neon or like the ones that are backlit with the displays?
Either or, really.
Okay.
I'm getting set up for my new house build, and I'm going to have a little bar there. And I lost a whole bunch of them in several moves. The only one I have left is an old style one that's backlit with a bulb on it. But I collect them, whether they're neon or backlit cheesy plastic ones that distributors hang up because they want to sell their beer. Either way, so I'm interested. But no, what I was getting back to with the thrift store thing was several of those thrift stores had entire catalogs of like Playboy and Penthouse magazines for sale. And so I guess that's still a thing, but that they've actually got them out to sell them. So I guess maybe the old school people who don't internet too much, like us. The boomers who don't know how to use, who still have flip phones.
Are you talking like recent issues, or are you talking like 1970s where they had the nice soft filter and the chicks didn't have tattoos and stuff?
Both, actually. Both. There was from all different years. I saw. I did see early '80s all the way up to the 2000s. Not that I was picking through and rubbing my penis in the store, but just the same.
At least not in the busy aisles, right?
Yeah. You kind of find that one corner with all that shit that no one wants to buy, and you just kind of hang back there in the corner like you're in the Blair Witch Project.
That's where I usually go to fart.
I'll corrupt us an aisle and stand at the end of the aisle and wait till somebody walks through it.
Oh, I cleared out an antique store in Tennessee one time.
Oh, I totally fartled a kid once. I fartled him. What happened is I was back looking at shoes in Walmart. I didn't realize this 3-foot tall kid was standing behind me, and I was like really having to bust ass, and I didn't know he was behind me, so I totally let one go loud. And his head was right at my ass, and he started crying and screaming. I fartled. I scared him with the fart. I fartled him.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got a quick lesson on the man fart. Good to work. Man. Hey,
Speaking of the smell of ass, I have to tell one of my stories real quick. This was on one of the first episodes. I was one of my technicians called in sick, and I was the branch manager for a Donnie Marie Pest Control company. So I went out to this house, and I think I know why the guy called in sick, because it was a house with a little old lady and her son, who was a fireman, who happened to be gay. Now, normally you walk past a gay person, you don't know anything unless they tell you. But this guy kind of made it flamboyant. He had on these tight little booty shorts with his butt cheeks hanging out the back of it, and a half shirt with his belly button sticking out. And he's like, "Hey, I've got the problem. Let's go down to the basement first." So I went down to check it out in the basement, and I'm kind of, making sure I stay on the opposite, because he was following me around like a puppy. Mm-hmm. As he kind of chased me, not really chased me, but followed me closely to the point that I felt like I was being pursued, he decided to tell me that there was a noise up in the attic, like scratching. I'm like, well, you might have mice in the attic. That's possible. So I'll go check that out. Now, the fold-down stairwell's in the hallway of the first floor. Now, I have to mention that the whole house had the smell of fresh out the tap poop. It didn't smell like shit, per se. It was like fresh out the tap poop.
Oh,
and so as I folded the stairs down, I started walking up the stairs, and I feel a set of hands on my ass, and I look over my shoulder. I'm like, if I fall off these steps and you're touching me when I do, I'm gonna have to sue you for the injury. But if I fall off these steps and you're not touching me, that's workers' compensation. So just let me fall. Just remove your hands and let me fall, please.
Oh, man.
But he was trying to get all up on my turd cutter.
Yeah. Well, Jack, sometimes if loving you is wrong, people just don't want to be right.
I know. I know. Yeah. But, not all pee-pee times are poo-poo times, but all poo-poo times are pee-pee times.
There you go. It's good it's not just me then.
No. Oh, no.
Good to know. Oh, no. Yeah. I love how this podcast can also be a learning experience. Revelations and human anatomy and stuff. And so Sean Brown is one of our contributors. He's a great cheese bag, and love him to death. He brought us a couple of small vignettes regarding some pervy shit that he's come across in his day in the life. Let's see. We'll start off with, I was a green tech. Just got done with training. Was on my own maybe 2 days, and I went into this guy's unit. And he had literally pictures of dicks everywhere.
Oh, boy.
Looked like Dickapalooza in there, man. I quickly sprayed where he wanted me, trying to knock over his dick pictures and dick decorations, and got out.
I have one like that.
Yeah. I mean, is it art just because you hang it on a wall? What do you think?
Well, I tell you, the beauty of art is in the eyes of the beholder. So this guy was probably beholding himself while he was beholding the pictures. Not Sean, not the tech, but the owner of the pictures.
No, the tech probably had he had his wand, his B&G wand in one hand and the pump handle in the other, and he's trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I tell you, I was up in Martinsburg. There's an apartment complex that I used to do, and the guy had a thing for Westerns and gay photography and gay pictures. So he had like cowboys with no pants on, with a lasso in one hand and his lasso in the other, like up in the bathroom. and other pictures of all kinds of, in graphic description and tab A into slot B and things like that all over the walls of the apartment. I'm like, dude, can you at least take this? Because some of the stuff's just graphic, I don't have to see this when I'm coming through here. Yeah. He's like, oh, you don't like it? I'm like, I don't, it's your thing. And that's awesome. But I don't need to see that. No,
absolutely not. We're there to do a job, not get a job done on us.
No.
Yeah.
There's been offers, believe me. So
yeah. Well, our good buddy Sean hails from Dallas, Texas, and the preceding stories that he's given us will be no small proof of that. Okay, let's go with, I was doing an apartment complex that was on the high-class side of town. I was given a key and told the guy I had roaches. I knocked hard, but no answer. As I opened the door, there was a dude sticking a dildo in his ass, man. I can still hear the squish sound. And it affected our friend here, man, because he's like, it haunts me in my dreams at night. he also had 5 or 6 cameras sitting up with the lens on him, so I'm thinking he's an OnlyFans star or some shit.
You can make money doing pervy shit, because I remember the infancy of eBay, when eBay was in its infancy, people made money selling underwear. So what me and a buddy of mine did was we posted a picture of some dude, don't know who it was, but it was apparently some really well-built, attractive dude, and we listed underwear. So what I'd do is I'd wear a pair, fart them up for a day or two, and then we'd stick them in a Ziploc bag and send them off. And, some people would ask for skid marks, so I'd kind of, rub it up in the crack a little bit and, slip them in a bag and sell them off. I'd make $20 a pop on a pair, and I'd get underwear at Kmart where it was like $1.50 a pair.
No shit.
Oh yeah. Well, there was shit on them sometimes, but but you can make money doing that shit. So if this guy was jackhammering himself in the doo-doo hole for OnlyFans, I mean, hey, if he's paying the bills,
this was an apartment complex. Let's face it, times are tough, and rent's ridiculous anymore. You got to do what you got to do to make it. Now, it doesn't make it right.
You just said doo-doo.
If you got a notice on your door saying, the pest control is going to be here today to do the service, maybe do your filming some other day. Unless that's really what you wanted to happen. If you think you're going to walk in, the bug guy's going to walk in, he sees you, ramming a foot of rubber up your ass, and thinking, hey, this is like it's going to be that first tech I was talking about from Big Green Tea. Like he's just going to walk in and go at it. Okay, I don't see it though, but that's just me.
Well, first of all, you had a Freudian slip and you said doo-doo. So, but then
doo-doo.
You did. But then second of all, I tell you, if the rent's due and I need to eat and there's not much money in the bank, I mean, I'll take a picture of my boo-boo hole for somebody if they're going to make, help me pay the rent. That's fine. If I'm short a couple bucks and a picture of my itchy donut is going to get you to come up off a few bucks, I'll put my pride to the side for that.
Okay. Well, all right. There you go. Well, I mean, people may mistake it for a Bigfoot sighting, but okay.
Hey, there's a fetish for that somewhere.
Yeah, that's like, squatting with Squatch. There you go. All right. Okay, this dude has just made us stories. He goes, I had moved from a small mom and pop shop to one of the bigger companies. As I walked into a unit where, again, no one answered, I heard sounds from the bedroom. I announced who I was loudly. Pest control! Lady yelled out of the bedroom. Come on, baby, we got ants in the master bath. I walk in and it's 2 big fat lesbians eating each other out 69 style, and they just continued doing what they were doing while I sprayed their unit. I was petrified. I can still see the flaps of both of them slapping in the wind.
Oh, there's a Japanese word for that, don't you?
No, what is it?
Tukenchu.
Tukenchu. Nice. Sean, I know you got many more. You tell me that you do, but those are the ones that haunt your dreams from time to time. Sean from Dallas, Texas, thank you very much. You are the man.
Thank you, Sean. I hope you get the therapy that you need.
I'm just happy for Sean that he was able to, get behind, still rise above it and take care of business here in pest control. So hats off to you, Sean.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the days, on the day that I almost died in an apartment complex in Adelphi, Maryland, we were doing a rodent clean out, and we were going from apartment to apartment. I had this massive ring of keys, which had the apartment number stamped on each one. And, you go banging on the door, pest control, keep banging, kind of crack the door open and hollow through the crack. Pest control, keep banging on the door just to make sure people know that you're there. Mm-hmm. Well, when I got the door open, was cracked a little bit, and I'm hollering. I open the door all the way, and there's this woman, relatively attractive, laid back on the couch with her legs splayed open, but it looks like someone had attacked her boy howdy with a wooden spoon. And she had a pile of Coke and a pile of weed on this glass coffee table sitting in front of her. She looks at me and she goes, "Do you want something?" And I said, "Ma'am, I'm not sure which one of the three things you're talking about, but I'm going to have to pass because somebody beat that thing up pretty bad." I mean, like I said, it looked like someone attacked her, violently attacked her with a wooden spoon. It was rough.
Oh, shit.
I would need all that Coke just to finish the job.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before I eat at Arby's, man. I'm not going to eat at Arby's anymore anyway because they got rid of the potato cake. So,
what?
Fuck Arby's. Yeah, you didn't know. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry I'm the one that had to break that to you.
What the fuck, man?
No fucking potato cakes at Arby's. You believe that? You know what they got now? Crinkle fries. I can go buy a bag of fucking Oritas for $4,
Oh, fuck yeah.
Crinkle fries. Fuck you and your crinkle fries.
Is that?
I'm gonna have to get my already pre-digested and reformed meat somewhere else. Sounds like I'll have to go to that lady's place.
She had it in abundance, and it looked like the one that you see on the drive-through menu. Not the cheesy shit you get through the window, but the really flappy decorated one that's like with the stuff dripping off of it that's on the picture at the drive-through that you never get the sandwich that looks like that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it looked like. It had all the extra flaps.
So the beef and cheddar then. All right.
Yes, but I was the cheddar, as it is at Arby's, is questionable.
Yes, it is. But you know what? That was the charm at Arby's. But still, fuck them. No potato cakes. They can go straight to hell.
Well, I tell you, the Hardee's or Carl's Jr., depending on where you're from, Hardee's has a ham and Swiss sandwich, which is equally sloppy and twice as delicious, anyways. So
I have had the Hardee's. Yeah, it's Hardee's here. I have had the Hardee's beef or ham and cheddar, and it is the exactly sloppy, low rent stuff that I go to Hardee's for.
Well, yeah, and it's so messy that when you eat it, especially if you have a beard like mine, it looks like it looks like a money shot, and it's bad because it's that white cheese. So it's kind of disgusting, and you actually have to get hand sanitizer and soft soap and scrub your beard out on the side of the road, so someone like the fireman doesn't get any ideas.
Yeah. Hardee's had it going on for quite a while. I think they must have had some 19-year-old dude running their advertising because they had I guess many years ago they had introduced donut balls, and they were and so they ran an ad for a campaign to try to come up with a name for them, and they called the campaign "Name Our Holes." And they'd have chicks, they'd have women holding the donut holes, and name our holes. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah,
it's they're targeting a certain market. That's and they were targeting you and me, Jack.
I would have loved to have seen the correspondence from that ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be a show all on its own.
Yeah, and they had one of. A while back, I think Kim Kardashian was there. I walked into one of there, and there was a cut out of Kim Kardashian holding a burger, and all I could think of is, don't they put enough hair in these things?
Well, I guarantee you that vagina looks like somebody hit it with a garden weasel.
Yeah, it looks like a garden weasel, and some of the lines held onto it. that shit. That's bearskin panties right there.
Got friction burns on the outer edges and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll move on until now that we've lost every woman listener we'll ever have. Let's move on. Okay, we got another one. He didn't say he wanted to stay anonymous, but I'm gonna keep him anonymous anyway. Just default to it.
Okay.
A few years back, I did an inspection in an apartment above a garage. The guy who let me in said his cousin lived there but was in jail. Bed bugs were everywhere and a collection of dildos, plugs, and lube. I said to the guy, "Please tell me there's at least one woman in this story." The guy shook his head. Nope.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone was plugging the leaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this story a while back. But this is I've led a sheltered life, Jack. I either have not seen any outwardly pervy things, or I'm such a pervert myself that I just don't notice them. But one of them really struck out to me. And again, I may have said this before, so bear with me, new listeners. This will be new to them. Yeah. I was treating an apartment on the south side of the city that I live when I was at the Big Green Tea. I walk in, and a rather large dude is sitting there on a sofa. Do what you got to do. So I did what I had to do. So I went into his bathroom, doing the inspection there. I always open the medicine cabinet, not to look for drugs or anything. Those days are behind me. There's a lot of cracks and crevices in a medicine cabinet, especially in an old building, because I always have that slot in the back of the medicine cabinet where you're going to be shoving your razor blades. Oh, yeah. So when construction and remodeling guys come to do that, they can get sliced up by your old razor blades. Anyway, I usually put a little bit of bait in there, maybe some dust in the void, what have you, just as a preventive. I open that sucker up. There is a dildo that goes from the upper left-hand corner of this medicine cabinet. Now, mind you, he has pulled the shelves out of the medicine cabinet to accommodate the length of this device. From the upper left corner to it, all the way down to the lower right corner, just kind of leaning up there casually. I opened it, just chilling out in there. I open it up. It just kind of looks at me. He's like, "What's going on, Brad?"
That's a home defense dildo is what that is.
Yeah, I slowly closed the medicine cabinet, and it's a mirror, so I instantly saw the horrified look on my face, trying to figure out basically the sheer mechanics of this, and and I thought, well, this is a pretty big dude; he could probably handle this. So I get back out, and I hadn't noticed on his dining room wall there was a poster of Prince William of England. Yes, the Prince William, second in line to the British throne, and this was his. This wasn't the balding, craggy, jagged tooth Windsor looking motherfucker he is now. This is the young, teenage, virile, vigorous, and potent William. And I'm almost sure that was the name that guy gave that dildo. Ugh. I said nothing. I exited the apartment, and I go back to the thing, go back to the office to turn in the keys. How'd everything look? And talking to the maintenance guy, I said, "You wouldn't believe what I found in somebody's medicine cabinet." He goes, "Oh, you talking about William?" I was like, "No shit." He called that fucker William. I was like, "Oh my God." Oh, so that was basically we've all done it. We run into dildos in random places, vibrators, different types of device. In fact, we do it so often whenever we have a guest on. That's always the stock one of the stock questions that we have. We have a couple of questions that we always ask everybody who guests on the podcast. And that's always one of them, because everybody's got a good story about that.
Oh, God.
And, being able to tell it is what makes us who we are.
Well, the law of averages is that if you go into that many, as a pest control technician, you got to figure you're doing anywhere from 12 to 20 homes a day. And if you're doing 20 homes a day, you better think about where the fuck you're working. That's a whole nother story. But
true.
12 to 20 homes a day, 5 to 6 days a week for the whole year, and if you've been doing it as long as Brad and I have, you've been to a lot of fucking houses. So just the law of averages states that you're going to come across this shit. So when I was working in Baltimore, I walked into this house and there's a mother and her daughter. I'd say her daughter was early 20s, sitting on the couch. And as soon as I walked in, the daughter hops up off the couch and runs right up to me and puts her arms around me. I'm standing there kind of with my head back and my shoulders back, like, what the fuck's going on? And her mother had to get up with a fly swatter and smack her daughter to get her off of me. And I was like, apparently she's prepared to have to deal with this, so this must be a regular thing. I'm like, I feel sorry for the fucking plumber. But,
oh, hell yeah.
So I keep going through the house, and every time I passed this girl's, in line of view, she'd get up and run over to me, and the mom would get up and smack her with a fucking fly swatter. And the last time was I was getting out the door, I tried to hand the ticket to the mother in the kitchen because she was in there and get out quickly, but I had to pass through the living room to get to the front door. And this chick gets up off the fucking couch and runs at me, puts one arm around me and one hand down my fucking pants.
Dude.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And look, if I was a single guy at the time and if she was relatively attractive, which she wasn't, but not everybody's pretty and there's someone for everybody. I'm not ugly shaming because motherfucker, have you seen me? I mean, holy shit. So, but it just jams her hands and just grabs the meat and the veg. And I'm like trying to grab her. No. And she kind of she bears down a little bit like she don't want to look up. I'm like, ah. And next thing you know, you hear whack, whack, whack. The mother's behind her, smacking her in the back of the head with this fucking fly swatter to get her hands out of my fucking pants.
Holy shit, Zach.
Now, I was in shock. I'm thinking, and I could have thought, I should have thought, well, there's a lawsuit waiting to happen. But no, I just kind of, hey, that's a story waiting to be told. That's what that was. So I had that happen, and when I was in Martinsburg, I did a little house, small little like a in-law house that had a couple strippers that lived in it, and they had just girls scared of spiders and shit, and it's kind of out in a rural area. So I'm treating and just doing everything I can. They're attractive girls, but they've been rode hard and put away wet, and I'm like, okay, well it was a one-time service they wanted. I went in, I got it done, came back with the bill and the ticket, and I sat down at the kitchen table to fill it out and talk to them about what I did and how the service transpired. And they're like, is there any other way we can take care of the payment for this service? I'm like, I was like, what? I said, what? That's a good bit of money, and we can, we don't have anywhere to go. We can take care of this service. And you start in the back of my mind, I'm starting to hear so brown chicken, brown cow, and I'm like, no, I can't, I can't justify all this time and material and everything and say, but hey, I got a blowjob for it. So, payment rendered.
Nice.
Just look at my penis. I got two different types of lipstick on there. I mean, goddamn, you can tell, but. I had to turn them down, and they begrudgingly wrote a check, which then subsequently bounced. So they were. I mean, you got to figure if they're not making enough money to pay for a pest control service, and they're the kind of people that shake their moneymaker, it leaves me to question the quality of their money making shaking.
Yeah. Well, Jack, it sounds to me like you gambled and lost. So so it's it happens.
Well, back before my pest control days, I used to install carpet. That's back when I was in shape. Because I tell you, kicking in carpet's like doing crunches for 12 hours a day.
That just makes my knee throb just thinking about it.
Well, it made other things throb when this German au pair was sitting at the top of the steps in a bathrobe, telling me how old she was. I went back and kicked in her carpet for the rest of the evening.
Yeah,
I was 19 years old, and I was. Come on. When you're 19 years old, the wind blows in a certain direction. You get a boner. So I had energy to spare. And I took advantage of that one. That's for sure. She was a cute little German thing. And nice. I hit her in the Schwanzstocker.
In the Schwanzstocker. No, you're the one you used the Schwanzstocker.
Oh, I used my Vina.
Yeah. Yes.
What was it? Terry Garr goes, he's got an enormous schwanzstücke.
He would have to have an enormous schwanzstücke. Igor, he'll be a popular chap.
His name's Abby. Abby Normal.
Oh man.
Fucking
good. I just thought about that movie. I watch it every year around Halloween. I've got my 2 Halloween movies that I always watch. That's one of them, and the original Shining is the other. And Young Frankenstein is probably in my top 3 of movies to watch.
Well,
that is
the two sound clips that go. The 2 sound clips that go through my head. First of all, is "Putting on the Roots," and
all right, I need a second. You made bourbon shoot out of my nose. Shit.
And my other favorite one, and my favorite other one is "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy."
Yeah,
I love that movie. That began my love affair with Jack Nicholson.
Oh, every day. Sometimes we do a lot of vacationing in the Smokies, and whenever I'm driving through the Smoky Mountain National Park or just just outside of Gatlinburg, and we're on those winding mountain woody roads, it's like I don't have the radio on. We got the windows down, and I'm just going. My wife's like, "Shut the fuck up." And I just kind of look at her and we're like, "Here's Johnny."
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, it's like when you come in here and you hear me doing this, or you're tapping this, or whatever the fuck I'm doing, you leave me the fuck alone. I love that movie. God.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
We were so fanboying over Jack Nicholson because I went from that to the first Batman movie with him as Joker, and I'm a Joker fanatic as it is. So, because I was back then before him, it was just Cesar Romero.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when he showed up and I watched that movie, I think I've seen that movie upwards of 200 times. I could tell you every single line of the fucking movie. And I worked so hard to try to perfect my Jack Nicholson for the Batman movie. So
Jack Nicholson is such a good actor that even the little shit bit parts he gets are great. I mean, the episode he was in Andy Griffith, and the Andy Griffith Show was great. It really showed his chops there. That when he played the attorney in the movie Easy Rider. He drink and Nick. Indians. That was brilliant. It was a shame he got his skull crushed in towards the end of the movie. But no, Jack Nicholson, yeah, definitely. So all right, well, we went off onto another rabbit trail, and being Sean Knight, I've got another Sean story from Sean from the Golden Arches, and he starts off friendly enough and goes, "Hi, Brad."
Hi, Brad.
I was working for a small pest control company out of Norristown, Pennsylvania about 8 years ago. I was in the field for 2 years. My supervisor called me and told me I would be getting one of his large accounts from now on, and it was a high-value customer, and to keep my fucking hands to myself.
Oh.
Which totally caught me off guard because I'm a straight-laced guy. Mm-hmm. I got to the account. It was 8 row homes in a row. Hence the term row homes. Yes. All homes were owned by the Academy of the Sciences in Philadelphia and were used as dorms for 6 to 8 girls per house. I already liked where this is going. I went into each house and introduced myself and did my treatments, and that was it. Would go there every other month. On my second visit, I was in one of the houses where one of the girls told me no one else was home and to keep it quiet since she was studying. Of course, I knocked on every door before going in, but she yelled at me from the first floor that no one else was home and to stop knocking on the doors. I went into their last door room on the 3rd floor and immediately saw a gorgeous raven-haired woman with massive tits staring straight at me, stark naked, doing yoga. I was completely caught off guard and was struck dumb for half a millisecond before turning around and walking out the door. I knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm Sean the Exterminator. I'm sorry, did you want me to come in to treat your room?" She said, "Of course, come in." I was like, "Are you sure?" I thought I might have seen her getting changed. That's why I went out really quick. "Do you need a minute?" She said, "No, it's okay. Come on in. I don't know what you're talking about." So I asked again, "Are you sure?" "Come on, dude." But now, before you ask, I was told that a lot of our customers have cameras at their houses, and a lot of our guys got caught stealing shit and doing dumb shit in customers' houses. So I was highly suspicious. I went in, and she was still standing there, stark naked, doing the tree with arms up yoga pose. I did my absolute best to treat her room and set out a few glue traps and snap traps because she was telling me she was seeing mouse activity and spiders, and to keep my eyes on my work and on her eyes when I needed to look at her. I needed to look her way. So I go back downstairs and talk to the girl studying and kind of freak on her. I said, you told me you were the only one home when you know your roommate upstairs on the top floor naked doing yoga in her room, and didn't say anything when I walked in. And then I need my job and I can't afford to say anything fishy happened, etc. She said, for God's sake, Sean, would you relax? She's a fucking stripper. Do you think you're the first one to see her naked? Meanwhile, the stripper is upstairs cracking up. She says to me, Sean, didn't your supervisor Steve tell you we were cool? And for the next year, every other month, I went there and would see the stripper and her roommates just walking around naked for at least one or two of them per visit. Oh. I went a total of 8 different parties at that house, and man, am I glad I had that account for as long as I did. Sean?
Oh, yeah. I'm eternally jealous. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sean, hell of a story there, buddy. And, those ladies are great. Yeah. You got to love a good sport. And, they really played you, man. But in a good way. He's got another story, and if it's I just kind of scanned through it, and if this is any good as good as the first one, I think we're in for a real treat. Okay, all right. So this happened to me also at my first pest control company. I had been on my own running a route for 2 months tops, and it was my turn to be on call for the week. I had an emergency call literally every night that week, and it was Thursday. My last night on call, I got a call from this lady, Charlotte, who lived in one of our high-rise accounts in Center City, Philadelphia. I get there at 1:30 in the morning for a mouse in her bedroom. She's telling me that she's folding laundry in her room when the mouse runs out from under her bed. So naturally, extremely hot blonde naturally runs from room and stuffs a towel under the door so the mouse can't get in the living room. So I go into her bedroom and put about 15 snap traps out and plug up a hole in bathroom behind the toilet and 2 spots behind her radiator cover, and go out to living room and kitchen, plug some holes and set some more traps. So I tell her, okay, I'm all set. Have a nice night. Charlotte says, oh no, Sean, you can't leave until the mouse gets caught. How do you know he's still not still in my room? I'm like, I don't think he is. I set traps, plugged up holes. You should be good. Well, did you check my laundry pile? Man, this laundry pile was a 3-foot tall pile of panties and bras. I said, no, Charlotte, I am not doing that. Why not? Why not? With like the head bob of a ditzy blonde. I'm not, because it's all underwear and I'm not getting caught doing something weird on a spy cam. That's why, Charlotte. I've had a long week, and one of my coworkers just got fired yesterday for stealing a customer's panties. What the fuck? True story too. He goes, true story. He was caught on camera, and our office showed us all the video. Nice. She rolls her eyes and said, you don't have to worry. I recorded the football game. I'm heating up pizza, and I've got beer, and we'll make you comfortable. I said, I can't. I'm parked out front of the building in a no parking zone. Well, of course, she says, no problem. I'll call the front desk. He's going to come up and get your keys and move the van for you. This lady wanted it, Jack.
Oh, hell.
Man. I said, no, I can't. It's 2:30 and I have to work until 7 a.m. I asked to use her bathroom before I left. She let me when I came back out from peeing. You were rubbing one out for 5 minutes. Definitely running one out.
Kind of hard on, man.
I heard her front door close. I had my keys clipped to the handle of my work bag, and she called the front desk guy up to get my keys to my van while I was in the bathroom. I was like, what the hell, Charlotte? I need to go home before I can finish the word home. She was in front of me on her knees. Oh. I was sleep deprived from working all week and doing 2 emergency calls per night for the past week, but there was no way I was going to screw this up. I didn't get any sleep that night, and that was the start of a 2-month situationship.
Oh.
Sean.
So she was playing the testicular tuba.
She was. Yeah. I mean, I mean, my gosh, she was. You got to admire her persistency and tenacity in this situation.
Yes, yes. I mean,
And I got and you gotta admire Sean for trying to make us believe that he was in the bathroom for 5 minutes taking a piss.
well, I got to tell you, when you got a full on boner, it's kind of hard to get the tinkle to come out. So you got to work at it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I guess you're right. And then there's also that situation where it may not go where it's intended in that situation. So there could have been, but I don't see 4.5 minutes of cleanup.
Is that a mag light on your belt loop, or are you happy to see me?
That's one of the big 4D cell mags.
The ones that when I lived in Maryland, we had to stop carrying them because the state wouldn't allow people that weren't police officers to carry them because they could be used as a bludgeoning weapon.
Oh hell! I beat the shit out of a couple of mice with one of those, and you catch them in a corner, and then you just kind of hit them with the butt, the end of it, and takes them right out. You just kind of wipe it on your pant leg and go on to the next situation.
Pop that head like a grape.
Yeah. Okay, Sean and Anonymous, thank you very much for your stories.
Thank you.
Got another one I want to throw out there real quick. I may have mentioned it before, but it is one of my personal favorites. And these things always seem to happen at apartments. And I think that the Sean went apartments, dorms, etc. No exception. Mm-hmm. I go into this one apartment and knock on the door. Guy's like, "Come on in." I come in and I look, and there's absolutely nothing in this apartment except for a TV. And it's one of the old TVs, back before before the, LCD plasma bullshit, blah, blah, blah. One of those big fat fuckers, sitting on a couple of milk crates. The guy is sitting on a folding metal chair. He is eating a bologna sandwich and watching porn. And he's not, his pants are on. He's not doing, he's just sitting there, got that bologna and mustard on white bread, and he's just grinding down on that. I'm doing my thing. I'm looking over, I'm seeing the pornage, and I'm just like, "You just moved in here?" "Nah, man, I've been here for 6 months." "You want a sandwich?" I was like, no. I was hungry. Dude, I was hungry as fuck, but there was no way I was going to sit down there and eat a bologna sandwich and watch porn with this fucker. So I was like, "Nah, I think I'm going to pass. I still got a lot of units to take care of." He goes, "All right, well, you want to come back here when you're done? I got plenty of bologna, man." I was like, "I bet you do." So, yeah, needless to say, I never returned for lunch. I think I ate at McDonald's that day. So.
Bologna and bukkake, two great tastes that taste great together.
That's right. No mayonnaise for me, please.
Well, I tell you, if it comes out looking like mustard, you need to go see a doctor.
That ain't no shit. You got big problems. Consult a urologist for that.
I had an apartment that I went into, and it was like the same clean out idea. You go through, and you're in the living room. There's nobody in there, and you're just taking care of things, going to the kitchen, doing an inspection around the living room and stuff. Then I keep even if they tell me the apartment's empty, I'm always announcing pest control if I go through a closed door. So. I get to this back bedroom door, and it's closed. I put my hand on the doorknob. Pest control. Nobody says a word. I open the door. The apartment's empty because no one else is. The whole time I've been in there, no one's come out or anything. I open the door, and there's a man and woman going at it. And I'm like, "Oh, shit, sorry." He goes, "No, man, do what you got to do." I'm like, no. I wasn't invited or nothing to join in, and I wouldn't have anyways. But just the same, I'm not going to be, this guy's got to, deep dicking this chick, and I'm not going to be, baseboard jockey in the room while he's going to Pound Town. I'm like, "Nah, you're good. If there's any problems, call the office. We'll come back for a retreat." He was going at it. He was,
he's really working it, huh?
Wow.
Putting it to her. Good
balls
deal.
Deep. Balls deep.
You know what? We've been talking about a lot of stuff tonight, and the best part of it is we haven't talked about a single fucking technical thing all night, and I think that's terrific. And you want that information? There's plenty of other podcasts out here. We're going to get you what you really want to hear about. And that's naked chicks, porn, and bologna sandwiches.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you want the technical bullshit, you got to go to Mr. Critter McCool. But
That's right.
Actually, don't go to Critter McCool. That guy's got
Yeah,
no fucking idea what he's talking about.
because his apartment is also covered with pictures of his dick, but they're all his own. So anyway, and also I want to throw out there that you were having a good time here and enjoy this, but by no means consider this us condoning that you go sink your meat rod into the the beaver of moisture at any time, because it's not worth your job, man. It's not worth your job. Sure, you'll have a good time. You'll get a good release. You'll have some good stories to tell, but you could tell them on the unemployment line if it gets to that. So, just play it safe out there. And as Candace Renee would say, my beloved Candace Renee, safety director of Pest Control Humor Depot, always glove up.
Glove up. And, these stories are all happenstances, things that you come across by accident or by chance. I mean, it's sure pornos start that way, and that's fine. But we're professionals. Be professional.
Court cases start that way too, Jack.
Yes, they do. They most certainly do. Sexual harassment lawsuits start that way. So keep it in your pants, whether it's your clam or your muscle.
Well,
keep it in your pants. But no, if you got more stories like this, we love to hear them. We'll always bring up these stories. I don't care what the fucking episode's about. We're gonna
can't get enough of them. I mean, because like the Shawns, they've got these great stories and stuff. None of this ever happened to me because I have always been fat and ugly. So I live vicariously through your stories, folks.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. To switch from the perverted stuff, I wanted to mention. Just a couple days ago was our buddy Randy's birthday, and I want to, on the podcast, wish him a happy birthday as well. I put a video up, but Randy, you tough son of a bitch, stop fucking around with cancer, kick the shit out of it. We know you're just dragging it through the mud because you can. Teaching it a lesson, and I get that. I mean, it needs its ass beat, and you're doing a fine fucking job of beating it. But would you hurry the fuck up and finish up and wipe off on the drapes so you can come on the fucking show?
Absolutely. You hear what the man said, Randy? Get her done.
Damn right, man. But happy birthday to you, Randy. We love you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to you too, Candace.
Oh, Miss Candace, happy birthday, most certainly.
Yep, her birthday was, I want to say yesterday. I've been drinking, so Wednesday was Randy's and Thursday was hers, and the outpouring of love that everybody has shown on PCHD is incredibly touching, and I can't thank you guys enough for not only being a part of this and being a cheese bag and listening to the podcast, but the shit you guys show for each other is just incredible. And I think it's a wonderful thing, and keep it up.
Well, I have to say, on one of his latest updates on his GoFundMe, which you will find the link to his GoFundMe on tftc.wtf, is that he's changing locales to go to a hospital that's going to provide much more intensive treatment to help him kick the shit out of this. But that means he's going to be incurring more expenses. That being the case, we're asking everybody to step up. If you've given some, fantastic. Thank you so very much. If you're able to give a little bit more, please do. This guy has his hands full kicking the shit out of cancer, and he's also having to change his location to get this done.
And if you want to give a little something to Randy, but you want a little something in return, not only give to a good cause, but have yourself look like the stud muffin that we all know you are. Check out tftc.wtf. Go to the store. There is some great merchandise on there, and you would be surprised to know how much of the proceeds to the sale of that stuff goes to Randy's GoFundMe. You're doing him a favor by helping him out with his expenses, and you're doing yourself a favor because this stuff is good shit, and you're gonna be dripping in it by the time people see you wearing this stuff.
Oh, I was pimping my shit in North Carolina with my hoodie. I had my Tales from the Crossface hoodie on, and people were like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was telling them, and hopefully we have some of those listeners from North Carolina. So if you're listening, hey, I saw you. Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah, and if you pick up any PCHD stuff and somebody asks you about it, you got to ask them, "Are you in pest control?" They say, "Yeah." Tell them what it's all about. And they tell them, if they tell you no, tell them it's none of their fucking business.
Well, I'll tell you, I got. I know there are patches for sale on the store, but I've also got a stack of them that our clothing manufacturer gave to me. I think it's going to be more than one stamp to send it because it's a patch. It's about 5 foot wide, not 5 foot. What the fuck? 5 inches wide by maybe 3 inches tall. Tales from the Crawl Space patch. If anybody collects patches, let me know. And if you want to zing me $1 to cover postage, I'll get it sent out to you in the mail. That's all I want. It's just enough to cover postage to send you a patch. I don't know how many people collect patches, but if you do, let me know. I got a whole stack of Tales from the Crawl Space patches that I'd be happy to send out.
That's cool as hell.
Hell yeah, I still got some stickers left. And the people that left an honest review on our website, if you left a review, get back in touch with me either by Instagram or Facebook Messenger and get me your address, and I will send you a Tales from the Crawl Space sticker as I promised. Like I said, I had a bunch of shit going on, which is why we weren't here in February. But I am a man of my word. If you left an honest review, whether you hate the show or fucking love the show, you left an honest review, I will send. I told you I'd send you a sticker. Get me your address, and I will mail a sticker out to you.
Sounds good. Jack, let's talk about something. Maybe the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas. I know I'm just springing this on you, but how do you and everybody else out there in podcast land feel about maybe us talking about sometimes maybe that where we felt threatened? Let's face it, it's a sorry ass world out there, and people have been rotten since the beginning of time. And I know everybody's kind of got a story where they kind of felt threatened. Like to hear about it, and also like to hear about how you dealt with it to get out of that situation. Problem resolution is a thing that we do in this thing of ours, and it doesn't just go to how we're going to kill that fucking mouse that nobody can seem to catch, but it's also how you got out of a sticky situation. So we'd love to hear your stories. Feel free to message me on my Facebook profile or Jack's, and let us know. We'd love to hear your stories, and if we think they're interesting enough, we'll get them on the air for you.
Hell yeah, we'll call the episode "Them's Fighting Words."
Them's Fighting Words. There you go. I like that. I like that a lot. So, and again, thank you very much for for spending an hour with us. We really enjoy it.
Oh man, I love doing this. I love doing this podcast. It's the most fun hobby I've ever had, and we don't make money off of this. I mean, hell, I got to pay for the web hosting, but I don't give a shit. I love doing it. It's fun, and I love hearing stories. I love hearing all these stories. I mean, the shop talk was the best fucking part of my job when I was a tech.
Oh yeah, and with the way things are nowadays, with everybody being kind of we're basically remote people almost. There's not a tech room for us to hang out anymore in a lot of companies, and I like to think that Tales from the Crawl Space and PCHD are the tech room where we can come in and just blow shit at each other.
Oh, but we're not going to be remote here soon, are we, Brad?
We're not. As a matter of fact, coming up on the weekend of the 25th and 26th, we got a special surprise for everybody. Stay tuned.
Yes, we do. Oh, and by the way, my son was supposed to do a little interview on this episode as we teased about the last episode, but the young man had to work. So sometime this week, we're going to get an interview with him about the intros and stuff he does. And tell him how awesome I know who he is. And I think Brad's got quite an appreciation for my boy as well. So we'll do an interview and we'll have it on our next episode.
Can't wait to talk to him, Jack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That does it for us at Tales from the Crawl Space. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to give us ideas about aggressive customers when you've had to deal with shit like that. We'd love to hear it. I know I got a shit ton of stories myself, so that ought to be a great show.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we might have to make a 2-parter show out of that possibly, because I guarantee you everybody's got one of them stories.
Oh yeah, everybody. I think that we probably got more of them than dildo stories, Jack.
No, that's true. And if we got to make it a long show, we'll make it a long fucking show. But we'll get it done.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a plan.
All right, for Brad and I'm Jack. You guys have a great fucking week and bug the hell off.
Bug off.
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawl Space Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.